Why does it feel so hard sometimes? Why does it feel like I'm forcing? I'm so tired. I'm tired of forcing it and trying to come up with things. Why can't I just receive? You know how some people talk about that, the creators, that the ideas come through them. I want that. I want it to come through me. You're listening to Say It Anyway, the podcast for people who know they're meant for more and are done holding back. I'm Maggie Marcus, and here we talk courage, self-trust, and what it takes to lead yourself, even when it scares the hell out of you. Oh man, you guys, today's been a little bit of a chaotic day. I'm actually recording this podcast way later than I normally would. And in the spirit of this day completely not going according to plan, which is, those days, right? Just everything gets knocked sideways. And at the same time, it's almost perfect, right? You didn't realize that's exactly what you needed to happen. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to do this podcast episode a little different than I normally do. Usually I would prepare a little bit more, but today I'm feeling called to just show up and talk with you guys and just hang and have a conversation with you around some of the things that have been coming up for me, especially around authentic expression and being able to not having to show up and do things the right way, like this pressure that we put on ourselves. Because if you're like me, you're probably a pretty ambitious person who's pretty hard on themselves and knows that they have great potential and fears not living up to that potential. So you do everything that you can, everything in your power to make sure that you are doing all the things. And maybe it feels like it's just never enough. And there's always something left to do. And you're not doing the things that you're doing. You're not even doing those good enough for your standards. And I know that feeling really well. And I put a lot of pressure on myself over the years, especially over the last month or two. I jumped into a 90-day challenge where I'm posting on social media a talking head video every single day. And that has not been easy, especially for me, having been someone who didn't always show up consistently on socials. And when she did, wanted to do it right, wanted to do it perfect, wanted to offer value, was very coachy and guru-y, and thought I had to show up with a lesson and in order for people to want to listen to me. And so this challenge it's challenged me because I'm in an era of exploring how I show up in a more authentic, true to me way that doesn't feel the need to over prepare or perfectly deliver a lesson or even provide the insight or the lesson. Like someone who can just show up and be herself and not perform. And I really want that for myself. And so I've been challenging myself to notice things that come up for me and vulnerably share them and share them faster and not dismiss my ideas, because before I would say, I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't know what to say. I feel so empty. I don't know. I need to be more creative. And realizing now that I do have lots of ideas. I've just judged them before I even allow myself to shape them and form them and share them. And so there's been a lot of me allowing myself to discover my voice in this way. And I think there's a big inner transformation that's happening. And I put pressure because, I want it to happen faster. And even though I'm making progress, I want it to be better. I want it to be better progress. I'm like watching this girl the other day. I found her online and I loved her videos. I mean, she just seems so real and down to earth, spiritual, and sharing in such an authentic way and in such a deep, wise way, in a way that I want to show up. And I started reading the people's comments on her videos, and she was having the impact on people that I wanted to have. People saying, I love your authenticity. I love the way you show up. You had me bawling my eyes out. I really appreciate, I really needed to hear this. Your content's always on point. And I mean, her numbers are ridiculous. She has a pretty good following, but for the level of a following, like the amount of likes and views she gets is pretty cool. And I feel like she's just blown up. So I was kind of like comparing to her a bit and envious, because it wasn't so much about her followers or anything like that. I was envious of how she felt to me online. That realness, that vulnerability that she felt. I felt like she was really just inhabiting herself and being herself, and with an ease that was really beautiful. And that's what I want for myself. So I was kind of in my head thinking about that, that on top of the fact that I put so much pressure on me to create better videos and content. And I woke up, this morning with that on my mind. And I thought, man, I really want to tap into my creativity and my flow and my authentic opinions and ideas. Why does it feel so hard sometimes? Why does it feel like I'm forcing? I'm so tired. I'm tired of forcing it and trying to come up with things. Why can't I just receive? You know how some people talk about that, the creators, that the ideas come through them. Even J.K. Rowling, she wrote Harry Potter, and she's like, oh, it just came through me. I want that. I want it to come through me. I don't want to feel like I'm chasing and forcing and pushing for it. I want to, imagine an antenna over my head. I want to have a clean antenna to receive my ideas, my inspiration, my truth. I want it to come through me so badly. And that need and that want is probably what's been propelling it. And not to mention just the negativity and the thoughts that I have about, me not being good enough, or the comparison. There's a lot of noise and a lot of clutter that is blocking and mucking up the channel. And so I really wanted to clear that. I really wanted to get in tune and hear my own voice. There's nothing more that I want than to just freely express and genuinely share and have what I have inside genuinely resonate with others and impact them. I want nothing more. And I thought to myself, I gotta what's gonna help me tap into that? Because part of me, when I feel this way, just wants to cut and run and burn it all down, like move to another country and be like, maybe I should just travel again and just like leave everything behind. And maybe once I get away from all of this, it'll come through me. But I know that that's not realistic and probably isn't even just like the answer. So anyway, I thought, let me go back to, I've been feeling called to write again. Let me go back to doing morning pages. If you don't know what that is it Julia Cameron? It's called The Artist's Way. I forget the author's name, but you write 3 full pages as close as you can to when you wake up. A stream of consciousness, no reading it back, no editing it. Just allowing yourself to verbal vomit, and just clear the clutter, clear the noise, get everything out, so that you can make space creatively for yourself, for your ideas. And I've done this before, it was a little while back, and I'm like, okay, I want to do that again. So I go to the store this morning. I'm like, I want to start fresh. I need a new journal. So I go to the Dollar Tree to pick one up, and I'm pulling into the parking lot. I'm on the phone with my brother at the same time, though. My purse is sitting next to me in the passenger seat. I park the car. I throw my keys in the purse. Again, I'm talking to my brother, so I start getting out of the car, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't need my whole entire purse. I'll just grab my wallet. I pull it out. I throw my purse back on the passenger seat. I close the door, and then I realize, wait a second. I start patting my pockets. I'm like, I don't have my keys. And I look at my purse sitting there. You know the feeling. And I'm like, oh, no, I locked my keys in my purse. or I locked my keys in my car, in my purse. And I'm like, okay. Right, here we go. This is the day. This is the way the day is starting. I love it. Exactly how I wanted to start the day. Luckily, my brother comes. He helps me out. He lives about 15 minutes away. And so I get my keys back. I get the journal. I'm back on track. I go to the beach. And that was the original plan. So I'm sitting there at the beach and I'm writing my morning pages. And one thing that came up that sort of struck me in the moment was I wrote, I have been putting my potential on a pedestal. My highest self, the version of myself that I could be, that I should be, I am constantly comparing to her more than I compare to anyone else. And when I do that, I can never measure up. Who I am now, what I do now is never good enough. Because she has it all figured out. She's way further along. She's already booked all these speaking gigs. She's been on stages. She's written a book. She's grown her podcast. She's confident. And if I'm constantly comparing myself to her, I can't enjoy who I am and where I am now in my process. I can't enjoy becoming her because who I am now could never measure up. What I'm doing now is not enough. It's not good enough. The videos I share, they're not good enough compared to how she shares. The podcasts I'm doing, they're not as insightful and original as how she shares. Because she's my potential. And I'm always chasing her. Which means that who I am now will never be good enough. Isn't that heartbreaking? I want to enjoy becoming her. Because this is my life now as it's happening. It's not there in the future as her. It's right now. So I wrap up my writing. I get back in my car. I'm driving home, and this thought is still kind of ping-ponging around in my head. And I come home. I make some food. I'm sitting there. And then I go, wait a second. That thought, that's a spark right there. That's an idea worth sharing. That's something that came to me, through me, in a moment of surrender and allowance and exploration. And it's true to me. And it feels a bit vulnerable to share. So I filmed it and I shared it. And I thought, see, Maggie, you have thoughts, you have ideas. But the problem is I put so much pressure and force to create the right kind of thing instead of just allowing what comes up to be good enough. But no, I dismiss my ideas. I judge them. I don't allow them to actually shape and form and share them. I think that's why I love podcasting, because I get to explore. I don't feel like I've got to compress it into a 45-second video and make sure that it's Instagram worthy and has a hook and a strategy behind it. I get to just be. Maybe I'm realizing maybe I'm a long form girly. I enjoy that a lot more because it feels like a lot of pressure and it feels like it undercuts my message when I'm trying to compress it and squeeze it into something to make sure to please the algorithm. And I'm trying to stay true to me while also understanding that if I want to build something on socials that, a brand that I've got to kind of find I'm kind of trying to do this dance, right? But that's besides the point. What was really important was realizing how much that pressure blocks me. That pressure to do it the right way. To do it in a way that someone else would like it. To do it for them. To do it in a way that makes Instagram or TikTok or whatever happy. Like, there's so much pressure that I put on myself. And besides that, right? Like, for me to just appear impressive and to be worthy of listening to be liked. And dare I say, admired. Oh, gosh, that was an ego confession right there. But that's the truth. Of course, I want that because I want to also be an example to other people. An example of love and truth and vulnerability and compassion, you know? So I've been just kind of playing with this idea and asking myself, you know, how do I keep my state primed, you know, protect my state so that I can have the spaciousness mentally and emotionally to unearth my true ideas and opinions and keep the channel clear to receive and to be in tune with my intuition and my wisdom. And I think today was a really good start and a really good example of what happens when I get out of my way and I clear that channel and I write again. I think like we just got to recognize what supports us. And for me, maybe it's morning pages or journaling in that way. But also I recognize, as I started saying at the beginning of this, today was like just chaotic in the best way. It was a really good example of being in a state of surrender and allowance and allowing things to unfold and flow because I anticipated and expected this day to go a certain way and it didn't, you know, locking myself out of the car and then, you know, getting to see my brother and my nephew was really like unexpected, but really nice. You know, it got me out of my head and it made, we had a laugh and then shifting things and going to the beach and writing. And then when I got home, I was trying to make some coffee and I put the coffee grounds. I have an espresso machine. I stuck it in there, turned it on, and I'm sitting there waiting for it. And suddenly the machine basically exploded. So the entire coffee grounds and the coffee spilt all over the counter, all down the drawers. It's dripping on the floor. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's happening today? And then I pull open the drawer and I'm cleaning inside the drawer because the coffee's gone down and dripped into the drawers. And as I do that, I knock over the capsule with the espresso beans. So the beans go falling down. And it's just a reminder that to surrender, right? That all I can do is keep moving forward, laugh. And honestly, it was the kind of break, the chaotic break I needed to get out of my head. And that's why I decided to show up like this today, you know, in a more free-flowy way and just talk because it just goes with the theme of just releasing control today, just being in a state of allowance, being in a state of surrender, and releasing the need to control how your life unfolds and needing to be on a certain timeline and needing to be hitting certain milestones and creating meaning about yourself in a negative way when you don't hit that, or when things aren't good enough, or when you're comparing yourself to your future self and making like making yourself feel bad now by doing that, like creating your own suffering as a result. I think it's just like freaking releasing. Like, I don't have a perfectly neat answer right now, but I think what's coming up for me is just releasing, releasing this need for things to be a certain way, just laughing at shit and noticing things and not being so sucked up in your head and into the way things are supposed to be and should be that you miss what is. I think there's something in just giving yourself permission to not have to be perfect, to not have to be your highest self, and to not have to be your potential self, to take her off the pedestal, and trust that whatever comes through when you stop forcing and you stop comparing, even to yourself, that what might come through might be even more beautiful and true and authentic to you than you could ever expect. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Stop trying to show up the quote unquote right way and just show up as you are. Because who you are right now is the person who's going to get you to wherever you're trying to go and whoever you're trying to become. Like, the you right now deserves your love and your compassion and your kindness. She's doing everything she can. And your way is your way. There is no right way. You are right now learning the lessons that you need to learn. You are cultivating the skill set and the mindset that you need for you. And just remember that life is happening right now. So don't be so consumed with becoming future you that you miss you now and life now. Because this is all that's truly real. And you're going through it either way. So you might as well try to live it up and enjoy it. Enjoy your process. Enjoy becoming her. And know that you're not alone. I am right here with you and sending you lots of love. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit home, spread the love. Maybe share it with a friend or drop a comment. I'd love to know what landed for you. And remember, your voice matters. Whatever you're holding back, say it anyway.